Hello, you're watching Outsiders and Donkey Vote. And friends, I want to tell you, I'm concerned about what's going to happen when Americans go to the polls in a couple of weeks. And frankly, it's not so much concern about what will happen if Biden loses, but what will happen when Trump wins. To give you an example of what I'm talking about, have a look at this perfectly normal American TV commentator talking about what he thinks should happen to U.S. President Donald Trump.
Donald Trump should be on trial for 220,000 murders, death penalty for each count.
Death penalty for each count. Did you hear that? Anyway, of course, if we're going to go down that road, if any politician should be up on charges, it should be Governor Andrew Nichols Cuomo, the New York governor who packed nursing homes with COVID patients by executive order, resulting in tens of thousands of deaths. But of course, being a darling of the left means never having to say you're sorry. We've talked about it before, but we are really seeing the threats ramp up from the left now. And the threat is clear. If you want peace and stability, don't vote for Trump or we're coming after you. This week, the New York Post reported that Trump supporters, you can always tell them they're the ones with the American flags out the front of their house, have been receiving threatening letters in their mailboxes. Dear neighbors, the letters read, you have been identified by our group as being a Trump supporter. Your address has been added into our database as a target for when we attack should Trump not concede the election. We recommend that you check your home insurance policy and make sure that it is current and has adequate cover for fire damage, unquote. Charming stuff, and the U.S. Postal Police are investigating what could well be a federal crime that's been committed by these lefty geniuses. But it's not just these fringe elements. Former Bill Clinton Labor Secretary and Obama administration economic advisor Robert Reich had an idea of his own. This week he tweeted, quote, when this nightmare is over, we need a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. It would erase Trump's lies, comfort those who have been harmed by his hatefulness, and name every official, politician, executive, and media mogul whose greed and cowardice enabled this catastrophe. Well, enjoy your re-education camps, Trump voters. And here's none other than former President Obama himself.
Hey, everybody. One of the most inspiring things about this year has been to see so many young Americans fired up, organizing, marching, and fighting for change. Your generation can be the one that creates a new normal in America, one that's fair, where the system treats everybody equally and gives everybody opportunity. We can come out of this moment stronger than before.
Yeah, so inspirational, President Obama, to see young people out there fighting for change, setting up autonomous zones in Seattle, attacking federal courthouses in Portland, burning down main streets across the USA, and intimidating anyone who dares to voice a different view. All of this stuff, though, is laying the groundwork for the left to challenge any Trump win as illegitimate, particularly if he winds up winning the Electoral College, but not the popular vote, which will have been driven up in Democrat cities by vote harvesting methods with, shall we say, varying degrees of legitimacy. Here's the thing, as Joe Biden would say, after the elections, you can look for more protests and sit-ins as lefties get their talking points, that the people have spoken, the courts must do the people's will, and woe to any judge or official who thwarts it. And remember, for all the talk of Donald Trump not accepting the results of the election in 2020, it is the Democrats who have spent the last 4 years crying and shrieking and moaning that Trump wasn't legitimate and that it was Hillary who really won. Oh, and speaking of Hillary,
they have a couple of scenarios that they're looking toward. One is messing up absentee balloting so that they then get maybe a narrow advantage in the Electoral College on Election Day. Joe Biden should not concede under any circumstances because I think this is going to drag out, and eventually I do believe he will win if we don't give an inch and if we are as focused and relentless as the other side is.
You heard it here first. Don't let them gaslight you over the elections. I'm off to the States after this show with Rita, and I cannot wait to get there and tell you more about what is really happening on the ground.